Stand by for 30 minutes.
It works! As you can see, the sound is beautiful. There's a beautiful reverb. It helps me to just try to listen myself more. Won't be disturbed all the time.
People are coming in now. I'm about to get ready for the parade. We're very lucky at Nouba. We have the most diverse, stylistically, diverse show that Cirque has, and possibly that anybody has or will have. We have every shade of style of music you can think of. There's bluegrass, classical, hip hop, techno. It's all there.
I do like to mix styles. Whenever I have to talk about the essence of the show and what it represents for me musically, it's always a little bit complicated. I didn't want to go too far into intellectualizing the music. Usually I'm trying to stay as open as possible and to be as influenced by the images, or even actually more influenced by the images than by the concept. I just let myself go with the images, with what the acrobats give at that moment. We did want to show a little bit of the loneliness of the cities and the craziness of the cities, but it was not my main inspiration. I will compose maybe 2, 3, 4 hours of music that they will try during the rehearsals. And from there, they will start to build the show, and I will assist to that. And when we're really close to the end, like I would say a month before the premiere, and it was like even 2 weeks in the case of Nouba, I'm usually rewriting everything because now I have a precise idea of the emotion of the act. It was insane. It was completely insane, but I think it's a nice way to create when you get so much intense in one thing that you cannot think of anything else. You're just into that world.
I'm the interface between the composer and the stage, and had to try and figure out what Benoit wanted and make it work for the band.
Benoit is a pearl. It's so nice to have him. He loves music and it shows. He was able to understand where I wanted to go. And beside that, he was able to adapt his vision to the shows. Whenever I write, I have a tendency to try to do all my arrangements and to do everything. I'm a bit of a control freak, actually. And then after that, I leave doors open to the musician.
He wants the music the way he composed it. And with me, I was very lucky. Maybe it was a timing thing, maybe we got along a certain way, and it was a little easier with me. He left me more leeway than I think than anybody else at the other shows that Benoit wrote. And that's a great thing for me because I need a lot of leeway to be effective. I change things all the time. Of course, I respect the composition, but it's definitely I definitely take the leeway that it gives me to make sure that we stay alive.
Je pense que Benoit Jutras, dans le temps, nous faisait confiance pour aller avec nos couleurs en restant toujours dans le contexte du spectacle.
Every time I'm sitting in a theater, I'm just enjoying the show. And often, actually, after 30 minutes, 40 minutes, I have to remind myself that I'm there to listen to the music and take notes, because I'm just like, they get me, and I'm into the show. So I trust them a lot. I love them. They're absolutely great.
Not every musician is visually inclined. It's difficult to find good musicians who look at what they're doing, and I have that. You know, I have these, 6 other guys playing with me, and they all relate greatly to what's happening on stage.
On a des largesses de temps en temps qui nous sont données de pouvoir faire des solos dans différents numéros, ce qui nous permet d'avoir beaucoup de flexibilité et ce qui nous permet aussi, lorsqu'un événement inattendu arrive dans un numéro, avec le directeur musical, c'est plus facile de pouvoir improviser et puis d'allonger un petit peu le temps que les choses se placent.
All of them have experience in jazz, and that's definitely a big part of it. You get used to the unexpected, you expect the unexpected, you look for the unexpected in jazz, and that's what we do here too.
When you work with acrobats, if you work with a juggler, let's say, there's chances that the juggler will drop 1, 2, 3 times and never at the same place. So you do have to construct your music in a way where it can move a lot.
One particular anecdote that stands out is there was a time when it was during Balto the Clown's Spiderweb act. He brings out his spider web, which is in a wooden frame. I'm supposed to then go on a rip-roaring solo that Balto, mimes to, and it makes it seem like he's playing the solo on his spider web. Well, there's a problem with some sound gear of some kind, but poor Balto, I left him high and dry, flailing his hands along this thing that, of course, the audience had no idea what was going on, what he was doing. I panicked out. I bent down to check my wires and whatnot. Next thing I know, I have sound, so I started playing. At that point, Balto had stopped altogether. So, it was, anyway, pretty tense moment. Luckily, that's only happened once. We do have to stay connected to what's going on with what's going on stage, and actually, we take most of our cues from the band leader.
I'm like attached to the acrobats on stage with the umbilical cord, a virtual umbilical cord. I read their minds. That's my job. I have to know where they're going ahead of time. I can barely blink in the Power Track Trampoline Act. I mean, the cues are right one after the other. They're like every 2 seconds there's a new cue. I don't have to do anything but say, 3, 4, go! And I don't have to explain where I'm going, what we're gonna do, and boom, they're all there at the same place at the right time. You have to live it with the headphones on to know how magical that is. That never happens in real life, but it happens weekly, it happens all the time here.
Mon travail est très solitaire. Je suis en haut, je fais partie de l'image, mais en même temps, les athlètes eux-mêmes ont beaucoup d'interactions entre eux. Mais à quel point moi j'interviens dans ça, c'est plus la voix, c'est plus quand ma voix, on entend ma voix. C'est très particulier comme style de voix. C'est très rare comme genre de registre pour dire que c'est pas féminin, pas masculin. Ça représente en fait le registre d'alto chez la femme. C'est le registre le plus aigu chez un homme. C'est le travail d'un acteur, c'est ça mon travail que je fais ici. C'est pas simplement de chanter bien, mais c'est celui de jouer bien. Et puis c'est le travail de tous ces artistes au cirque, c'est d'être de bons artistes, de jouer avec un trapéziste qui tombe dans le filet ou tout ça. C'est pas complexe, non, c'est juste la spontanéité. Je vais avec ce que je ressens. C'est de jouer, la comédie, c'est ça, peu importe si on est trapéziste ou chanteur ou musicien.
It was a choice of the director not to make us too visible, or considering that it is a circus after all and not a concert. But it's true that very often people don't realize it's live music until the very end of the show. It doesn't actually bother me because we're pretty well free to do things that otherwise we wouldn't do had the lights been on brighter,
Ça, personne ne le voit. Quand on est ici dans la tour, il n'y a personne qui me voit du public. Je suis assis sur une chaise puis je chante mes trucs. L'interaction avec les musiciens, c'est ce qui me tient en vie parce que sinon, j'aurais presque pas d'interaction avec personne durant le spectacle.
The dancing was, again, not something that the director had asked us to do. It was just a way of keeping our sanity, with all the repetition. It was a way for us to cut loose and sort of improvise with our whole bodies instead of just with our fingers.
This is so cute. They're really, really, really cute when they do that. I was band leader for a long time for the cirque, and often I wanted to kill myself after 500 times playing the same show. But they have fun all the time. It's so nice to watch them. I think that the fact that they do allow themselves to move a little bit around the music, that keeps them alive.
Quand on travaille dans un environnement où il est bon de travailler, où c'est plaisant de travailler, c'est le fun parce qu'on arrive au travail, on est de bonne humeur, on a des copains, on a des gens avec qui on travaille qui sont formidables. Donc, je veux dire, c'est une atmosphère qui est agréable. On a des fois un petit peu de temps pendant le spectacle, quelques minutes, 2 ou 3 minutes entre ou pendant un acte où j'ai pas à jouer. Et moi, j'aime ça dans ce temps-là quand j'ai un petit peu de temps de relaxer. Puis un jour, justement, pendant un des actes où je me relaxais comme ça, je m'ouvre les yeux et puis je vois quelqu'un qui était devant moi, penché comme ça, puis qui me regardait. Puis là, j'ai fait comme « Ah! » Puis c'était Guy La Liberté qui était ici. Il était venu nous voir et puis là, il m'a regardé. Puis là, comme j'ai ouvert les yeux, j'ai fait « Ah! » Il dit « Ça va? » J'ai dit « Oui, je relaxais. » Là, non. Là, j'ai continué à jouer, mais c'était... Oh là, disons que je m'étais fait prendre un petit peu dans ma relaxation.
Every time that the show starts, like just the first 5 minutes of the show, the opening of the show for me is magical every time. Every time I'm sitting in the house and then I'm like, oh yeah, that's cool, that's nice, it works.
There's a very strong emotion. You get that emotion, visceral emotion, when you see these vaguely human-looking creatures do what they do, on stage. What we do is to basically go along with what they're doing and complete the emotional experience of, sights and sounds and music.
You're never completely sure if your show will sound old. There's some shows that work well after 10, 15 years. Hopefully, Nouba will be one of those.